Prince and Anna, Daniel, Prince and Anna, hostages. Well, class, I'm sorry for the Iranians. You know, I'm sorry the Iranians decided to take us hostage today. It is fortunate that Miss Cal took a personal day and didn't have to be here with us. You know, for the whole hostage situation, isn't it? Isn't it fortunate for her, class?
Yes, Mr. Aber. Why, if only Ataruhala Kahimi and his followers hadn't forced Muhammad Reza Shah of Pahlavi to flee Iran, then the Shah wouldn't have gone to America, and we wouldn't have all been taken captive with the 62 other people in the American embassy in Iran.
I know, Anna, but there's nothing we can do about that now. We'll just have to wait for President Carter to help.
But I'm scared. What if President Carter doesn't meet the Ayatollah's demands? What if he won't apologize for supporting the Shah, return the Shah to Iran, and return all the money that the Shah is supposed to have?
Don't be afraid, Daniel. I'm sure President Carter will help us somehow.
But what can we do while we're waiting, Mr. Aber? We need something to do.
Well, let's think of something to do while we're waiting for something new to do. Let's think of something to do while we're waiting for something new to do. Let's think of something to do. Let's think of something to do. Let's think of something to do while we're waiting. I know. Let's talk about some of the other things President Carter has done to help our country in foreign policy. Perhaps we'll be inspired by his successes.
But Mr. Aber, President Carter hasn't really had any success in foreign policy.
Yeah.
All right now, class. I'm sure President Carter couldn't have been all that bad with foreign relations. Perhaps you just aren't remembering correctly. What about the conflict between Afghanistan and the Soviet Union, huh?
Well, in 1979, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in order to maintain the communist government they had established there. President Carter tried to get them to stop, but all he could think to do was boycott the 1980 Olympic Games in Moscow and tell the Senate not to ratify the SALT II treaty, which would have limited the amount of arms that the United States and the Soviet Union could have built, but of course it didn't work. And then the Soviet Union remained in Afghanistan for over 7 years.
Well, maybe the Afghanistan situation was a bad choice. Can we think of other examples, class?
Well, I know of the things that the president has done. My daddy is the king, and I'm the prince, and he teaches me all about foreign policy. President Carter severed diplomatic ties with the Chinese nationalist regime on Taiwan, and then formally recognized communist China as a legitimate government. He also signed a treaty called the Second Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, or SALT II, which limited the amount and types of strategic arms that the United States and the Soviet Union could have. The SALT II treaty was never put into effect, though. The Senate didn't ratify it.
Thank you very much, Tuesday. That was very informative. You are a bright child. Can you think of anything that President Carter has done, Daniel?
The only other things I can think of are the Panama Canal treaties. They made sure Panama would receive control of the canal and the canal zone in the year 2000. It also left America the right to defend the canal's neutrality.
That was very good, Daniel. Can anyone think of... Wait. Do you hear that? My God.
I hope we make it to Tehran, okay? Yeah, I don't want to fall and break my other leg. There's sand in my eye. Can't steer. Ah! Johnny, I can't feel my other leg. What? No! on, Johnny! You can do it! Alright, I'll try. Come on, Johnny! One more time! I can't feel anything in my leg anymore! Alright. I'm having here a big draft.
Unfortunately, 8 Americans were killed. Bob, little Timmy, Timmy Jr., Cheryl the crossdresser, Richard, Jorge, and 2 other guys who I just don't know their name because they weren't important enough. Amazingly,
He's dead
little
too.
Bob is burning alive. Dun dun